One of the most difficult questions that I've been asked as a rabbi, and I've asked many times, is where is God? Does God listen to my prayers? I pray to God that I ask for a family member to get better, or whatever your prayers may be, and you feel that God is not listening because I'm not getting the answer I want, or I'm not getting any answer at all. You know the story, they tell this joke of this guy that was hiking, in the middle he trips on a branch and he starts rolling over, and he rolls over a cliff, and the last moment he holds onto a branch that's sticking out, and he's hanging over the cliff. He says, God, please help me, please help me. And he hears the sound from above saying, this is God, what do you like? He says, help me, look, I'm hanging. So God says, do you believe in me? He says, absolutely. He says, if you believe in me, then leave go, and I'll save you. So he looks up and says, is there anyone else up there? So many times we feel there's no one up there. There's no one up there listening to us. You may wonder that if you were a holy person, if you were a holy man, a holy woman, then God will listen to your prayers. Maybe I'm not holy enough. Maybe God is not listening. So this week's Torah portion, it tells us about a very holy man, Moses. That Moses prayed to God over 515 times, asking for one thing: to be allowed to enter the land of Israel. And God refused this prayer. And we know the Torah tells us that he passed away in the desert and was buried in the desert. One may wonder, Moses, a servant of God, so dedicated to God, why did God care to let Moses go into Israel? Now it says because he messed up with hitting the rock when he's supposed to talk to the rock. I get it. But why didn't God let him go into the land of Israel? Doesn't mean that God wasn't listening to him. So one of the commentators of the Torah says a beautiful insight, and I think it's a very important message for us. And it may answer the question I originally asked, that many times we feel like, is God really listening? The Medrash says like this, and it brings down from the Talmud, that the language that God used to Moses was the same language that Moses used to Korach. Now, who was Korach? Korach was Moses' cousin. And Korach challenged once Moses that, why did you pick Aaron to be the high priest? Korach said, I want to be the high priest. So what did Moses tell Korach? Moses told Korach, Rav lachem b'nei Levi, enough for you, the children of Levi. And the commentator explains what he was telling Korach is, if you want to be Aaron, then who's going to be Korach? Meaning, every individual has their responsibilities in the world. Aaron is the high priest, but Korach, you also have a very important job. You need to be Korach. What is that? Korach was a very successful businessman, and you can bring God through your business. Aaron brings God's presence in the world through serving in the temple, but you bring God's presence in the world through doing business, being honest in business, giving charity, and treating your workers correctly, and doing all the things that the Torah prescribes for business. So he says, Moses tells Korach, if you're going to be Aaron, then who's going to be Korach? The same thing God told Moses. Moses, you have a responsibility and a journey in the world. And that journey responsibility is not going to the land of Israel. Your responsibility and journey was to lead the Jewish people out of Egypt. Your responsibility and journey in life to be Moses is to split the sea. To be Moses is to take the Torah down from Mount Sinai. To be Moses is to lead the Jewish people through the desert. But going into Israel is not Moses. Moses, you need to pass away in the desert because that's the generation that you led. You were their Rebbe, you were their teacher, you were their guide, you were their spiritual mentor. This generation that died in the desert, and you need to be buried with them. So God is telling Moses a very important message in life. True, you're praying to me, and you're asking me to give you certain things, but I know what your mission is. I know what your journey is, and this is what you need in life. It's okay to pray to me, but sometimes the answer is no, because you need to be Moses, and Moses is passing away in the desert. You know, someone was once asked this question. If you had to come down, I'll ask you the question. If you had to come down again in life, what would you want to come back as? You may say, I want to come back this person or that person. So you know what the person said? He said, I'd like to come back down as the person I was supposed to be. Each one of us have a mission in life. Each one of us have to be, I have to be Yossi Harlig, and you have to be who you are, and that's what we need to be. There was a story of once a rabbi who said that when I go up there, I'm not worried that they're going to whip me why I wasn't like Abraham, or why I wasn't like Sarah, or why I wasn't like Moses, or why I wasn't like Rebecca, because they are who they are. I'm going to worry that they're going to whip me that I wasn't who I was supposed to be. So when we pray to God, God is listening to our prayers. God is listening to our prayers, and sometimes our prayers may not help for us, it helps for our children. But sometimes the answer is no, and the reason the answer is no, or it's not the way we want it to be, is because we need to be the person we are now, with these challenges, with these setbacks, with these struggles. That is going to allow us to be the person we need to be. So does God listen to our prayers? Absolutely. Should we hope and pray that things change the way we like it? Of course we should. But when we don't see it working the way it is, don't think for a moment that God is listening. What is happening at this moment is God is telling us to be who we are, to be who you are, to fulfill your and my mission. This is the road we need to take. God bless you. Shabbat Shalom.